Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I don't think there's been a Star Wars movie that they made more digital video games about than this movie. The consoles are getting to the point now where the graphics are pretty decent at this time. And, the Lego franchise is getting in on the action. They've got the Lego Star Wars video games. There's the regular video games, non-Lego, that walk you through the story. It was a great time to be into video games back then. And we had a lot of them and played them a lot. Super fun, going through the different worlds and planets, picking your character. Battlefront 2, I think, was my favorite one of all time. I went back and played that recently on an emulator. The graphics, they're what you would expect for that time frame. Certainly nothing like what we have now, but a lot of fun to play. Anyway, back to the movie. I think my whole family went to go see this movie. I remember us taking up a whole row of chairs, and you felt like this was going to be the last one, the last time, you're going to get to see a Star Wars movie in the theater. And that was the anticipation, and that's why we went. I think we even kind of charted out which theater we wanted to go to based on the sound quality. We even asked some of the staff a lot of questions several weeks before. Which theater has the Dolby Digital, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is in the heyday of THX and the sound. I didn't want to be stuck in the theater that had just the little VCR and TV kind of size screen. I wanted to be in the big one with all the sound, and so that's what we did. And what a fun time that was. I think I had Junior Mints as my favorite snack. Let me know in the comments what your favorite food is. What's your favorite movie snack? I know other people in my family, popcorn is big on the list. Somebody said something about Cracker Jack the other day. I think you can still get Cracker Jack. But anyway, the plot of this story. This is where Anakin, goes full on dark side. He is slaughtering younglings, and there's that whole scene. There's tons of memes about this movie too. I think more memes from Revenge of the Sith than any of the other movies. And the soundtrack, can't say enough about it. John Williams again delivers the score. And I remember when the movie was over, it kind of connected the prequels to the sequel, not the sequels yet, but the original series. It's kind of connecting those, and you're thinking, this is it. This is the last of the Star Wars movies. And somewhere pretty soon after that, there's a little rumor of maybe 3 more coming out. Wouldn't it bring balance to the Force if there were 3 in the middle, 3 prequels and 3 sequels? Why not? Let's have 9. And while we're at it, let's add a couple of more character-based movies. When does it end? I don't think it ever will now that Disney has control of it. It's funny to watch some of the deep fake George Lucas interviews where somebody is, kind of playing him as a deep fake, and he's talking about CGI and how much he loved The Phantom Menace and how these last 3 movies were no good. But he was certainly in there on the CGI for Revenge of the Sith. May have even overused it, in my opinion. The final lightsaber duel on Mustafa with, the volcanic eruptions going off. Tons of fun. The only thing I'll say, in the theater, when it first came out, there was so much action with those lightsaber, the choreography of that. It was almost too much to take in. It was hard for me to follow. And, at that point, I'm getting a little older, so my eyes can't keep up with it as much. But I think, the original, the episode 1 with Obi Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul, that's my favorite lightsaber scene. If you haven't seen that video, you can watch it. I'll put it at the end of this video. But that was peak lightsaber performance for me. This one was a little long in Revenge of the Sith. Still tons of fun to watch. There was a lot of Force action going back and forth, pulling and tugging with the characters. And of course, we know what happens at the end. And little bit of an angry violence going on there towards the end. I remember you're talking to people with younger kids, and it's like, is this okay for them to watch? And I'm like, well, I don't know. How much can they handle? So you know, it did tie the bridge from the first three to the second three, and you know, that was nice. And I remember the feeling of thinking this is probably the last one, and as we all know, it was not. So I'll probably review those movies as well. I don't even, off the top of my head, I can't even give you the titles of those three. I'm Gen X. I remember the first six. But we'll get to those. And Rise of Skywalker, and I never said I was 100% Star Wars fanatic. Somebody asked me, I think it was my wife, was talking about, well, what's the difference between Star Wars and Star Trek? We're not even going to get into that.